In this video, we will share 10 more manipulative techniques. You see, manipulation is everywhere. Your job or work manipulates you to set an alarm and wake up early, or maybe a boyfriend manipulate his girlfriend to go somewhere or spend time with them. Though manipulation isn't always bad, but the real guide is our minds. So keep it up to date by knowing these tactics. Without further delay, let's start our journey. You will automatically like and subscribe in between the video. 1. Feigned helplessness. The manipulator positions themselves as someone who needs your help or can't handle things on their own. This can trigger your desire to be supportive and take charge. Example: I would never be able to finish this project on time without you. You're so much better at this than I am. This flatters you while putting the burden of completing the project on you. 2. Love bombing. Imagine someone you just met starts showering you with compliments, gifts, and grand gestures. They text you constantly, want to spend all their free time with you, and talk about a future together way too soon. This intense affection feels amazing at first, but it's actually a trick called love bombing. They're not after love, they're after control. Love bombing creates a strong emotional bond quickly, making you feel like you can't live without them. This makes you more likely to do what they want and less likely to see any red flags down the line. Historically speaking, it is said that Adolf Hitler used love-bombing techniques on his wife, Eva Braun, to keep her close to him while he pursued his destructive political ambitions. Previously, we made a video on how to get your ex back, where I mentioned this tactic. Link will be down the description box. 3. Playing the victim. Playing the victim is a commonly used tactic that even non-abusive or non-manipulative people can accidentally use to avoid taking responsibility for something. It involves a manipulator acting like they are the ones being wronged or hurt, when, in reality, they are the guilty ones. When someone plays the victim, they intentionally portray themselves as someone who has been wronged or harmed, often exaggerating the severity of their situation. By doing this, they aim to divert attention away from their own actions and gain sympathy from others. This manipulation tactic allows them to avoid taking responsibility for their behavior and deflect blame onto others. For example, imagine a coworker who consistently arrives late to work, causing disruptions for the team. When confronted about their tardiness, they might respond by claiming they are struggling with personal issues or blaming traffic, implying they should be excused from accountability. This approach places the accuser in a difficult position. If the accuser pushes back, they risk appearing insensitive to the manipulator's alleged struggles. As a result, the manipulator not only avoids owning up to their actions, but may also garner sympathy and support from others, thereby shifting the focus away from their own shortcomings and onto their supposed victimhood. 4. Threats. Threats and coercion are the muscle behind manipulation. They can be physical, like small as a bully who demands your lunch money or the thief who threatens violence. But more often, they're emotional. A manipulator might threaten to leave a relationship over a minor disagreement or spread rumors to damage your reputation. These tactics aim to scare you into submission, making you do what they want out of fear of the consequences. Financial threats occur when someone withholds financial support or threatens another's monetary stability, which hackers love to use against companies when they successfully pull off a data breach. For instance, this happened recently to Colonial Pipeline, a major fuel pipeline operator in the United States, when they were targeted by a ransomware attack in which hackers demanded a payment of 4 cents million in Bitcoin in exchange for the decryption key. Financial threats can also quickly turn into legal threats, with one party threatening to sue another. Finally, there are social threats, where a manipulator threatens to damage the victim's reputation with lies, smear campaigns, and slander. 5. Silent treatment. Silent treatment is a manipulative tactic where a person deliberately withholds communication or interaction with another as a form of punishment. This strategy can occur in various settings, including relationships, workplaces, friendships, and online interactions. By ignoring the victim's presence, refusing to acknowledge them, or cutting off all forms of communication, the manipulator seeks to assert control and dominance over the other person. This behavior can leave the victim feeling isolated, disrespected, and powerless. In such cases, the victim might find themselves questioning what they did wrong and feeling the pressure to apologize or make amends, even if they were not at fault. The manipulator leverages this power dynamic to maintain their position of authority and keep the victim in a state of uncertainty and dependency. 6. Ghosting. Ghosting is very similar to silent treatment, which involves a lack of communication between the manipulator and the victim. However, while silent treatment is used for punishment and control, ghosting is seen as a passive and disrespectful way to end a relationship or friendship permanently. While ghosting is not always used as an intended form of manipulation, it does lead to a lack of closure, causing the victim to feel rejected, abandoned, and confused. 7. Shaming. Shaming is a manipulative tactic that involves making someone feel embarrassed, inadequate, or inferior through various forms of negative commentary or behavior. It can take place in different settings and relationships, and is particularly harmful due to its impact on a person's self-esteem and mental health. Public humiliation is one form of shaming, where a manipulator criticizes or belittles a victim in front of others, either in person or online. For instance, a manager at work might publicly chastise an employee during a meeting for a minor mistake, emphasizing the error and making the individual feel foolish in front of their colleagues. This type of behavior can undermine the victim's confidence and reputation within the team. Another form of shaming involves unfavorable comparisons. The manipulator might consistently compare the victim to someone else, suggesting that they fall short in skills, achievements, or other attributes. For example, a coach might tell an athlete that they're not as talented or hardworking as their teammate, which can create feelings of inadequacy and resentment. Blaming the victim for the manipulator's actions is another tactic. In a friendship, for example, one person might criticize the other for making them angry or upset, implying that the victim is responsible for the manipulator's behavior. This shift of blame can lead the victim to question their own actions and feel guilty for the manipulator's negative emotions. 8. Gaslighting. Gaslighting takes place when someone seeks to make another person doubt their own perception of reality, their own memory, and their sanity. The term originates from a 1938 play called Gaslight, in which a husband manipulates his wife into believing she is going insane by dimming the gas lights in their home, and then denying that the lights are flickering when she points it out. Gaslighting undermines the victim's confidence in their own judgment by deploying confusing lies, withholding information, and shifting the blame onto another person, while at the same time denying their side of the story and claiming that what the other person is saying is a lie. Imagine someone hides your phone and denies it, then calls you forgetful. Over time, you question your own memory. This is gaslighting, a manipulative tactic to make you doubt your sanity. Gaslighters lie, withhold information, and twist reality to erode your confidence and control you. 9. Guilt tripping. A guilt trip is an emotional manipulation tactic that plays on your empathy and sense of responsibility. The manipulator makes you feel bad about yourself or obligated to do something you're uncomfortable with. For example, a parent might say, "After all I've done for you, you can't even help me with this." This puts pressure on you to comply, even if the request is unreasonable. 10. Isolation. Isolation is a manipulative tactic used to cut you off from your support system, making you more vulnerable to control. The manipulator might badmouth your friends and family, downplay their importance, or subtly discourage you from spending time with them. They might also encourage dependence on them by fulfilling all your needs and making you feel like you can't function without them. Imagine your partner constantly criticizing your friends, making plans that exclude them, and showering you with affection when you're alone. Over time, you see your friends less, becoming increasingly reliant on your partner, who becomes your entire world. This isolation tactic makes you easier to manipulate and control. On top of this, a manipulator creates dependency with their victim by making them feel like they need their support or approval and instilling fear into the victim so that they think they can't survive without them. This tactic is often used by abusive partners, cults, and online predators. As we end the video, let me ask you not to use these tactics to harm anyone. Robert Greene once said, "The world is dangerous, and enemies are everywhere. Everyone has to protect themselves. A fortress seems the safest, but isolation exposes you to more dangers than it protects you from. It cuts you off from valuable information. It makes you conspicuous and an easy target." Book 48 Laws of Power. Now, watch the next video appearing on the left that YouTube thinks best for you. Peace.